This is James Helder for iFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella. I'm at the Cosmopolitan Hotel today. We've just witnessed the press conference. Obviously, Timothy Bradley taking on Diego Chaves. Also, UK and Ireland's interest, Andy Lee taking on Matvey Korobov. With me, I've got the very lovely CRYSTINA Ponchher. How are we doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Did I pronounce your last name right?
Yes, you did. I love your accent. Sounds even better with the accent.
You're too kind. Everyone seems to love the English accent in America.
Yes, we do.
Indeed, indeed. Talk to me a little bit about this top-ranked card. Said looking out from the outside in, it looks like a massive, massive card.
Yeah, it does. A great triple header. Great night of boxing for everybody out there on HBO. We kick off the night with Jose Benavidez Jr. taking on Mauricio Herrera. Those of you that got a chance to tune into the press conference or see any of the video afterwards, you'll see that Oscar De La Hoya was here. He's the promoter of Mauricio Herrera, who's with Golden Boy Promotions, and Top Rank is behind Jose Benavidez Jr. So it was very nice to see those two promoters, the biggest ones in the game, kind of come together and make this fight happen. Should be a great fight at the 140 division. And then for the appetizer before the main event, as I like to call it, you have Andy Lee versus Matt Korobov for the middleweight title, and this will be Andy's second chance at a title, and he couldn't be more ready for this opportunity since losing his first title shot against Julio Cesar Chaves Jr. But he's won the last 5 fights since. He wants to dedicate this fight to Emmanuel Stewart, the great late trainer and former HBO commentator. So he's got a lot of motivation for this fight, and he's going to need it because Matt Korobov is a tough opponent. And then, of course, our main event.
Just looking at some of the undercard fighters, you've got some great fights going on. The likes of Benavidez versus Herrera as well. That fight's kind of slipped under the radar a little bit, but
it
has. Fight, isn't it?
It has, and it's kind of the tale of two different cats. I think Jose Benavidez Jr. is kind of like the up and coming guy. He's only fought up to 8 rounds before. He's only gone 8 rounds once, and they offered him this fight as a 10-round fight without it being a title fight, and he said no. He's like, I'm ready.
You've got to admire him for
he's like, let's go for the gusto. So he's going for the title shot in 12 rounds, and what a tough guy against Mauricio Herrera, who's fought Provodnikov, who's fought Danny Garcia, who's fought Michael Alvarado in a bloody. That's like your lingo in a bloody fight. So that fight to open the night could definitely steal the show.
It's interesting you mentioned that because when Herrera fought Provodnikov, obviously Provodnikov was 17-0. Not many people gave him a chance going into that fight.
Absolutely,
he's done things the hard way, hasn't he?
He has. It hasn't been an easy road, and he says he's fought like hell to get to this point, and he's not ready to give up the title. He said it's just a baby title. I'm going for the big ones next. But even the fight against Danny Garcia in Puerto Rico. Myself and a lot of people thought he actually won that fight. Indeed. And he didn't walk away victorious that night. But he's been battle tested, and he's ready to continue to move up and hopefully get the opportunities. But Benavidez is tough, and he's going to have a really tough time on Saturday night.
You're the boxing correspondent mainly for Top Rank.
Yes.
We always see you at all the shows working really hard. Top Rank world-renowned promoter Bob Arum. As you've mentioned, we've now seen Oscar De La Hoya come in face-to-face. What were the steps that kind of united these promotions and promotional outfits working together? Do you know?
I don't know the exact logistics, but I'm sure the fans had a big something to do with it. There's been a ton of negative comments being made about how the best fighters are not fighting the best because of the kind of Cold War between Top Rank and Golden Boy. And I think that it's just come to a time where Bob's not going to be promoting fights for another 10 or 20 years. So if they want to get the best of the best and kind of go out with a bang, they need to make these fights happen for the fans. And I think Oscar realizes that with everything that's kind of going on with their company and the changes that they made there, that if these two could come together and bring the best crop of fighters to fight the best, it's going to be not only good for them as promotional companies, but for boxing as a sport.
I asked Bob Arum this today. Do you, in your opinion, do you think the Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao fight will happen?
That's $1 million question. I would love for it to happen. I feel like there's always been excuses dating from a while back from both sides. Now I feel like Manny Pacquiao's team, for the most part, has said, okay, we'll do the drug test. You can take the majority of the money. I think the latest thing I heard was Floyd saying that he wants Manny to sign with Mayweather Promotions to make that fight happen. Manny's been very loyal to Top Rank since day one, and Bob Arum, so I think he knows that won't happen. So hopefully they can come and put their differences aside like Oscar and Bob did to make this card happen, and because it's what boxing needs. It's what I feel like both of these guys need just to kind of cement their legacies respectively.
I mean, Timothy Bradley's in action, coming off the back of a tough defeat to Manny Pacquiao. Do you think a trilogy with Manny Pacquiao would interest Timothy Bradley at this point of his career?
I don't know. Typically, if a fight went 1-1, I would say yes. But I feel like Timothy's closed that chapter and he's, ready to move on. I think people that saw him today, he's a lot more lighthearted and showing more charisma. I feel like he feels like a big weight was been lifted off his shoulder, and I think that he's done with that chapter. So I don't know if Timothy would want it. Me as a boxing fan, I think that those are two great fights. I would like to see it again, but I think from Timothy's perspective, I think that chapter is done.
Argentinian Diego Chaves. Now, a lot of the UK fans might not be too familiar with him, but looking at his record, he's coming in. He means business, doesn't he?
Oh, he does, and he's a tough cat. He's a real tough fighter, and he made his HBO debut against Brandon Rios here at the Cosmopolitan a few months ago, and it was a rough fight, was a dirty fight. A lot of people say.
Do you think he was right to be disqualified?
You know what? I don't think it was right. I do think that there was some dirty tactics. I think there could have been more control from the referee. I think there could have been some warnings or even point deductions, something else. But I don't know if that was the right time to stop the fight. I feel like it kind of just got out of control, and that was the easy way out for the referee. And unfortunately, Diego ended up with a disqualification lost, although he was up on the cards at that time. But Brandon Rios is known to come on tough in the later rounds. And so perhaps had that played out, we might have seen a knockout or maybe a decision that the judges would have decided and not the referee.
Looking forward to 2015, what do you think will be the biggest potential fight Top Rank can stage in 2015?
I know there's a lot of rumblings about Cotto Canelo, and that would be a hell of a fight. I really I'm looking forward to hopefully covering that fight and then making that happen. I know they want to steal that date away from Floyd Mayweather. I don't know where they would do it, considering we don't have a lot of fights at MGM anymore, if any. So we'd have to figure that part out. But to see that, Mexican, Puerto Rican storied rivalry in boxing and two of the biggest stars from their country, one, future Hall of Famer and the other one the next big thing, that would be a really exciting fight to be made. And who knows, we saw great things from Terrence Crawford this year. Would love to maybe see a Terrence Crawford Manny Pacquiao fight towards the end of the year. There's exciting things to come. Those who know boxing know that 2015 is going to be a great year.
If he did manage to get that fight for May 4th for that day, with the Mexican and Puerto Rican boxing fraternity, it could really give Floyd a run for his money, couldn't it?
Oh, it could, and I think that it would bring the pay-per-view numbers back that have been slipping from honestly both sides, Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. And you know what? Floyd's running out of opponents. It's tough. He's looking for guys to fight. I think he even wants to take another shot at Cotto, and that was a tough fight for Floyd as well. But I think Canelo Cotto would be an awesome fight, and would definitely give him a run for their money.
We've got another great show going on this week, which we have to mention a little bit about. Amir Khan in action versus Devon Alexander. Amir Khan could be a future opponent for Floyd Mayweather, as well as IBF world champion Kell Brook, who again, he's recovering from injury. It's been well documented and stuff. Do you think Kell Brook and Amir Khan are in the mix for a Mayweather fight, in your opinion?
I don't know. I don't know too much of what they've got going on there with Mayweather Promotions. I'm not too privy into the opponents that they're looking for, but I know Amir Khan, in interviews that I've watched, would like that fight. He'd like that fight or the Pacquiao fight, and that would bring up some storylines with Freddie Roach and Amir Khan kind of going back at it. But we'll see. I think either one could be a great opponent. Look, they need to get guys that have big fan bases, and Amir Khan is one of those guys. That fight could sell very well. So I'm sure he's in the running, but I don't know kind of like the business behind what they've got going on over there.
Of course. Lastly but not least, what is Bob Arum like? You must deal to him on a one-to-one basis quite a lot. We see him quite a lot in press conferences and weigh-ins and interviews, and he seems like a real character.
He is. He's the same. Just what you see in him up here, cracking jokes and stuff. He's the same way, and that man is gone through so much in the sport of boxing, and
48 years.
He's a legend. We had our Christmas party last night for Top Rank, and he's looking ahead to the 50th year and everything that he's accomplished, and he has a big photo with Muhammad Ali in his office, and he's got stories for days, and he's got charisma. He's funny. I know he gets a lot of flack from people, but you have to respect the man and everything that he's done. He promoted Mayweather, and he promoted De La Hoya before they became promoters, so you have to respect the process, and he's definitely a legend in the sport.
Last but not least, what does the future hold for Christina Ponchel? What is
Wow.
going on with you?
Well, the future looks bright. I love boxing. I've had the privilege to work for Top Rank these last 4 years, and even do some stuff on HBO too, and covering fights in Macau and everything. I also cover the NFL. I did a London game for the NFL last
No
year,
way.
so that was my first time to London. I absolutely loved it. So I hope we get to do a fight there. That would be awesome. But yeah, just big things. Continuing to cover boxing, give the fans my personality, my perspective, and do the best that I can. But I absolutely love working in sports, and just inching my way up. So
Well, I think
it's been great.
Your boxing knowledge is second to none, and
Thank
as I
you.
said, you're real easy on the eye, so I'm sure you'll have no problem moving forward in the future.
Thank you. And as always, we stream all of our undercard fights on toprank.tv, and I know Box Nation shows our stuff there too. So if you don't tune into HBO, or make sure you catch some of these undercard fights, because that's where you're going to see the future of boxing, and you're going to see the up and comers. So toprank.tv has you covered, at least on all of our cards, to see some of these young prospects in action. So
Thank you very much.
see you there.
See you soon. Thank you, Christina.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
Thank you.